Hello friends, and welcome to Mission Viewfinder. If you've watched our channel for very long, or for a long time back, you would have seen a video with my parents when they first came to Thailand. And they're back in Thailand now, and so wanted to do a little update and share a story that happened, a way that God really worked to guide them to the house they're in right now. So, Mom and Dad, thank you. Welcome back to Mission Viewfinder.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to be here with you.
So just kind of an overview for people who maybe haven't, don't know you or don't know what you're up to. What brought you to Thailand, just real brief, and what are you here to do now?
We had a burden to come to Thailand. Years ago we were invited to come to a school in Western Thailand, and we weren't ready to come yet. There were a number of different factors. But by the time that we were ready, that door had closed for us. But we still felt the Lord calling us to Thailand, and we knew not what specific reason. So we decided to come, and we went to Bangkok to learn the language.
To try to learn the language.
Yes, thank you. And while we were there, we met this wonderful gentleman who was the secretary of the Thailand Adventist Mission, who, once he got to know us, invited us to come to another school, a different school in Western Thailand. And the plan was at that time that they were going to build a house for us, and then we were going to move to the school. And then COVID hit, and everything came to a grinding halt.
So then you were like just stuck in your apartment in Bangkok.
Yes.
Pacing back and forth.
Yes, literally.
10,000 steps a day in the apartment.
Yeah. So then you ended up going back to America, and you had some things to do there.
Yes. Our middle son was ordained as a pastor. And we expected to be able to come back in a couple of months when the COVID thing blew over, and of course we all know that didn't happen. So it was a long time before we were able to come back again, and we did just in the month of September this year.
So what is it you're going to be doing at this school, or what are you doing now?
The original idea was for us to come and do agriculture to supplement the diet for the kids at the school, students at the school. There are about 50 that are boarding students, and a number that have come from the community also, as well as helping to teach English, especially conversational English, and hopefully establish a work program for the students so they can be involved in work in the gardens.
Okay, good, awesome. So the house isn't built for you guys on campus.
No, it isn't.
So when you were coming here to this area, you needed a place to stay.
Yeah, the plan sort of changed when we were in America, and the idea was that the Thailand Adventist Mission didn't want to start building a house until we were actually in Thailand because things were so uncertain. So we came, and then they wanted us to come as soon as we could, so the talk went to, we'll help you find a place to rent while the house is being built. So then we wondered, what kind of a place might that be? Because when we've been in Thailand before, we've seen some housing options that were really not very conducive to our age, let's say.
So you came up here to this area, and what happened?
Can I take it?
Go ahead.
We got in touch with the principal at the school, and he said he and the pastor had looked in the area and found a couple houses. And we were going to meet the next day to go look at them. And that was great, but I went to bed that night, and we haven't really met the staff at the school. And we're going to be working with them, and they don't speak English, and we don't speak much Thai, and first impressions are important.
Yes, and they don't really know us, so we were thinking, what kind of a house might they choose for us to look at to see if we wanted to live there? A lot of uncertainties about that whole subject.
And the more I thought about it, the more nervous I got, and I would sleep and wake, and as I brought up all the possible problems, the Lord kept telling me, John 14, it says in the first chapter there that Jesus has gone to prepare a place for us, and as surely as he's gone to prepare a place for us, I'm certain he has a place for us here. And so that brought peace, and I realized I just had to give this to God. And then the next morning I woke up, and I'd been reading through Exodus, just finished the 10 Commandments, and I was in Exodus 23, and it's as if the Lord just spoke to me And I read this verse, "Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared." And that was such confidence that he had prepared a place for us. And we were going to see it that day. And I didn't need to worry about what people thought or what was going on. God had his angel and it was all going to be okay.
I love it when you're in a place where you need something and God gives it to you.
And all he asked was for me to keep giving it back to him. The challenge wasn't mine, it was his, and he had taken care of it, and I just needed to trust.
Yes, that was the big lesson in it for us, is that we don't have to worry about the things that we're uncertain about. We just need to trust God that he will carry us through the uncertainty and have something very good for us at the other side of it.
Wonderful. So that day you went, and tell me about the first house you looked at.
The first house we looked at was interesting. There are a number of features that we liked about it, but others that we didn't care for so much. One of the concerns I had is that the kitchen bathroom area in the back of the house was basically in a state of remodeling. They had broken up most all of the tile that was on the floor and the walls in the bathroom, and the kitchen was kind of a disorderly mess because of the remodeling that was going on. And it seemed like, wow, this could be a while before they get this finished. And we had wanted a house that could be closed up to protect Irene from insect bites, because she's very sensitive to insect bites. And the house really wasn't conducive for that. There weren't any screens on the windows. And,
it had a big carport and lots of shade, and there were some really nice things.
Yes.
But they said, "You'd like?" And we said, "Was there another one?"
So then we went to look at the other one. And there was a very, very stark contrast. You want to tell about it?
No. Well, we're in it now. This is our porch. There were 4, basically in America we might call them tiny houses. Not very big square footage, but brand new, and none of them were occupied. They'd been built just before COVID, and then didn't sell and weren't being used. And we met the landlord and looked at the house, and it had a little kitchen, and bigger than our apartment in Bangkok, about 2 or 3 times this big, and a bedroom and an air conditioner and a hot water heater for a shower. It had lots of pluses, and a good carport with a locked gate, and it was new and had never been lived in.
Very little downside. We felt so blessed.
Yeah.
The best part of it was that the other 3 houses are empty, and there are cows that roam around 3 sides of us, and a mango orchard to one side. It's very rural and pastoral and beautiful.
And quiet. We're very appreciative of that.
I'm sure a breath of fresh air after Bangkok.
Yes, absolutely. It's like, it was a contrast. When we were in Bangkok, it wasn't like we had a whole lot of trouble with it, but when we came here,
it felt like home.
Yes, but also, wow, Bangkok is really loud compared to this.
Yeah.
So we're much more in contact with nature here, and nature's God, which is nice.
So God had a place.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, one of the interesting parts of it was, as we were on the porch here talking, waiting for the owner of the home to come, we had looked inside the house, and the principal asked us, "So, are you interested?" Like, yes, we're interested.
Yeah, kind of a no-brainer.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Just looking forward, what do you need prayer for in your work here?
Well, we really haven't started the work in a big way. When we went to the school to learn about potential for housing sites, it became clear that the water system for the school is really not adequate for all the needs they already have. And to add another household really was going to put too much of a load on their current system. Sometimes the tanks get emptied because of a lot of students taking showers at the same time, and the tanks get empty and then there's no water. So we felt the burden that there needed to be some kind of a plan for additional water for the school, and the Pastor Kalu, suggested a gentleman who's a well driller who had this mechanism of using magnetic resonance to find water under the surface, and we had him come out and he did a survey, and then we ultimately asked for prayer for the funds to move forward with the well drilling, and just within 4 or 5 days we had contact with one of our supporters, and they were interested in helping with the well. And they said, we want to help with the well, we want to help with these other aspects of your ministry, so use the money however you want to. So we put it towards the well and started the well drilling project, and felt very blessed and affirmed that God wants us to move forward with that project. And that's still underway right now. We don't have a final result for that yet.
And that well will provide hopefully, not just for the campus, but for gardens and farming.
Irrigation as well.
Which is really important in the dry season.
Yes, because since we've been here, it hasn't rained at all. And things are getting quite dry.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we'll be praying for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.